First, let's look at this helper function that turns the detected activity type code into a string. It's a very simple switch statement that just looks at the different codes, be they in vehicle, on bicycle, on foot, etc., and then returns a string from a resources file that matches this. So if I have detected activity in vehicle, I'm returning the string for or.string.inVehicle. And if you remember earlier on, when we pasted into our strings file, I had put those codes in there. So if I come back down to my strings file, here you can see I have things such as in vehicle is in a vehicle, on bicycle is on a bicycle, etc. So I've just set up those strings in my strings file, and then back on my main activity, whenever I detect that code, I'm just returning the equivalent string. So now let's take a look at what we've done in the onReceive function. Now if you remember, you created it earlier on and it received a context and an intent. So what do? Well, first of all, we create a new array list of detected activity. I call this updated activities. And we just get the value of this from the get parcelable array list extra that we spoke about. Now, if you remember, when we pushed the detected activity array list onto the intent in the intent service, we called it by a name, which was constants.activityExtra. So we just used that name to address it to get it right back out. So now we have the array list of detected activities in our main activity, or at least in the nested class within the main activity. So now we can just go through and update the status string as a result. And because this is a nested class, I can actually call mStatusText directly. So now all I have to do is I say string strStatus equals empty to empty it. And then for each activity, for each detected activity, within this updated activities, I now just update my status to be the string that corresponds to the actual code returned by getType, and then the actual confidence as a percentage. So the confidence is returned as a percentage, so I just put the % character afterwards and a new line. And that's where we were able to get all of the activities that we saw in the demo earlier on new lines, and a rough estimate of the accuracy of that activity. Now there's one more step that we need to do, and we have to declare this receiver class on the main activity and make sure that we're using it. This is pretty simple. Let's go ahead and do that right now. So first of all, on my main activity class where I've declared these other member variables, I'm going to declare one for our broadcast receiver. And here it is. I'm just saying protected activity detection broadcast receiver, and I'm going to call it mBroadcast receiver. Then in my onCreate function, as I create all the other member variables, I'm just going to come in here and paste in that mBroadcast receiver is a new activity detection broadcast receiver. We're almost there now. We just need to finish the last part, and that's to hook up the buttons.